¿A cuál grupo lo mando?
Welcome to the first virtual book fair USA. Now from Mexico, global design authors Elizabeth Saavedra and Sandra Miranda present their books, presented by Libertad Betancourt and interpreted by Manuel Ramos. Please, guys, go ahead.
Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Here is good evening because it's I think according to my clock it's almost 8 o'clock, and in other countries is really late or really early. But welcome. We know that you are going to have the opportunity to see in Facebook Live this interview or in the page of the first virtual book fair United States of America in any time. Thank you for Cesar Salvatierra and Alan Morales, our co-founders. They are the mind, the brain, and the soul of this festival and this that is great space and platform that is helping many writers, artists, poets, and artists in different shapes, different categories. And we celebrate here. We celebrate that we are alive after COVID-19. That is a devastation in the world, but we have this space to smile, to share our art, our work. And today we have two guests. We have two writers that they are going to share tonight with us this wonderful material, wonderful book. And we have in the translation in the interpreter Manuel Ramos. Thank you so much. And thank you, Luis Palacios, in backstage in the transmission. Okay, I have to say welcome to Sandra Miranda. She has a book. I'm going to translate the title. I don't know if it's exactly the idea, but it's Turn Your Squirrel. She's going to explain to us later what it means. It's very interesting. And we have in Elizabeth Saavedra. She has the book is like solving or trying to solve the depression and bipolarity. And I want to give you the space to say hello to our audience and feel comfortable to say something extra if you want to talk.
Ok, buenas noches a ambas autoras. Nos gustaría iniciar con un breve saludo y algún mensaje extra para dar inicio a la entrevista. Empezamos con Sandra y pasamos con Elizabeth.
Muchísimas gracias, Libertad, y pues todos los que están haciendo posible esta transmisión. Yo me encuentro muy feliz de estar participando en esta feria virtual del libro USA. Muchas gracias a todos los que nos están acompañando y pues repito, feliz de estar compartiendo este espacio también con Elizabeth. Bienvenidos a todos.
Thank you, Sandra. In this case, the writer mentions that she is so grateful and happy about being here participating in this virtual book fair USA. She feels so comfortable during this space. And well, thank you, Sandra. Now it's the turn of Elizabeth.
¿Qué tal? Buenas noches para todos. Gracias por hacer posible todo esto. Encantada y muy emocionada de poderles compartir y pasar un momento muy agradable. Bendiciones.
Okay, in this case, Elizabeth mentions that she is so grateful too about being here. She feels so happy about sharing the material that tonight we are going to have. And well, of course, she likes the time that we are going to have now. So go ahead, Libertad.
Thank you so much. And of course, I'm going to ask the most popular question because always we need to ask why the title. And in the case of Elizabeth Saavedra, I know what I have an idea, a clear idea what it means. And I'm going to ask you after Sandra. But in Sandra, many people is asking why is turn on or what you talk about turn your squirrel translating in Spanish is gira tu ardilla, and on others they say turn your stone, no? I think it's related with the brain. Explain to us a little about what it means, what this title.
Ah, muchísimas gracias, Libertad. Bueno, gira tu ardilla. Todos los seres humanos nos la pasamos todo el día pensando, reflexionando, creando, y pues todo lo hacemos a través de la mente. Entonces, gira tu ardilla, lo nombré así porque justamente cuando lo estaba escribiendo, cuando incluso planeé escribirlo, pues obviamente empecé a girar mi ardillita, esos pensamientos, esa creatividad que todos tenemos aquí en la cabeza.
Okay, in summary, Sandra mentioned that the reason of the title that she decided to put to his production is related to change our minds in some way, because as we know, every day we think, we create, we reflect, and that's why she decided to take this title. Of course, she mentions that when she was planning the production of this book, she also had to turn her squirrel. So that's why we have this title now.
Thank you so much. And in the case of Elizabeth, we are talking about depression, bipolarity, but I know is the title is a deeper reason is because you had in your house your mom suffered that, right? And you had a difficult a difficult atmosphere, and you have to you tried with, I don't know if with your brothers, but you tried to give enthusiasm and happiness to your mom to have a beautiful life. Tell us a little more about it, why you decided to write about it.
Sí, gracias. Después de haber vivido la experiencia con ella alrededor de 13 años, es mucho aprendizaje, mucha aceptación, y al final mi propósito es ahora sí que compartirles para quienes viven esto o lo están viviendo o están por primeramente reconocerlo, pues dar una esperanza, dar un apoyo y compartirles que hay mucha gente que lo hemos vivido. Es un tema que se toca muy poco, sin embargo ahora con esta pandemia, bueno, ha salido mucho más la depresión y todo. Ese es el propósito.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, if we want to understand the title of the Elizabeth's production, in this case, facing the depression and the bipolarity, we have to understand that she had a case into her family. In this case, it was her mom. She was living with this situation for 13 years, and in this case she decided to create these lines, this text, in order to help others, to make them understand that they are not alone, that they also have similar cases in other contexts. And also she emphasizes that during the pandemic time, the cases of depression and bipolarity has increased.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And now I want to ask Sandra. Sandra, what is the main idea of your book?
Bueno, justamente en este trabajo de estar girando la ardilla, lo que comparto básicamente es cómo podemos nosotros, a través de ese girar la ardilla, transformar todas las creencias que no nos funcionan, todas esas creencias que no nos dejan ir hacia adelante, en creencias potenciadoras, ¿sí? Y que todas aquellas creencias que nosotros identifiquemos como limitantes, podamos transformarlas de acuerdo a lo que nosotros queremos para lograr una plenitud en la vida.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. In this case, she mentions that the objective or the goal of the book that she has produced is to transform some beliefs, some thoughts that we have inside our minds in order to have a better development, an improvement of our lives. In this case, it's important for air to change some negative thoughts that we have in order to have an integral development.
And this question is for both. What do you dream with this book? What do you pretend to put in the hearts of our readers, our you readers?
Gracias. En realidad es un compartir con las personas, con el mayor número de personas, el que si algo no les está funcionando en su vida, tengan herramientas al alcance de la mano para que puedan transformar su vida. Y sí se puede hacerlo. Los seres humanos hemos pasado, sobre todo el último año, por una etapa muy complicada y pues mucha gente dice, oye, ¿qué puede haber de felicidad en una época así como la pandemia? Pero creo que podemos quedarnos con darle una interpretación que no nos ayuda o darle una interpretación que nos impulse, ¿sí? Y eso es justamente con Girando la Ardilla lo que podemos hacer. Eso es lo que yo quiero compartir con las personas.
Thank you, Alexandra. In this case, she mentions that what she wants to share with people is that in some way we are capable to change our minds or to focus our minds in a positive or a negative side of the things. In this case, one example is the pandemic time. She considers and she mentions that many people have told her that there were no positive things inside the pandemic time, but we can try to find those positive things. So the goal of the book is to turn our spiral in order to change those negative thoughts, looking for a better and positive focus.
Thank you. And the same question is for Elizabeth.
Gracias. Primero que nada, aceptar, reconocer este tipo de trastornos, de enfermedades que existen y que gran mayoría muchas de las personas nos resistimos a creer que lo estamos pasando y más aún a vivirlo. Lo que quiero transmitir, lo que quiero dejar en ellos es compartirles que es algo muy natural, es parte de la vida y que se puede vivir de una forma muy feliz acompañándolo y conociendo y aprendiendo. Todo trae un aprendizaje.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. In this case, she mentions that sometimes people resist to understand this kind of situations, these diagnostics. In this case, what she wants to share with her book is that we can live with these situations, that they are part of the life, that it's normal, and of course, it's possible to live a happy life having these situations. In this case, also she emphasizes that in the book we are going to find ways to do this, understanding, of course, her story.
Thank you so much. And Elizabeth, work hard, dreams, passion, loud everyday life. You have there your dreams. Dreams I cannot read well. And I want to say both they are beautiful. The decoration, the background is very nice and very motivated. One are flowers, it means life, and the other are values. What are your values in life, Elizabeth?
La honestidad, el respeto, la empatía, la responsabilidad, la colaboración, y me gusta vivirlo en la congruencia y en el hacer más que en el pensar y en decirlo.
Oh, okay, in this case, Elizabeth mentioned many values. What I would like to remember are three. In this case, the honesty, the empathy, and also the respect. She considers that it is better to do things instead of just mentioning or talking or
We lost Manuel, I think so, right?
yeah. Uh,
I don't know.
Se me está entrecortando creo un poco el internet. No las escucho también.
Okay, but I think he translated, right? The idea. I think so. Okay. And now, Sandra. Sandra, tell me, how can I work with my ardilla? How can I work with myself, with my brain? How can I put it to work harder than I usually I do? What do you suggest me? Do you have some steps or ideas or testimonies in your book that they motivate me?
Sí, por supuesto, Libertad. Bueno, lo primero es que tú decidas hacerlo. Tú de inmediato empezaste a pensar ahorita en girar tu ardilla y hasta te moviste, ¿no? Dijiste, ¿cómo lo puedo hacer, no? Y es esa pasión que tú le vas a poner a la vida. Y en el libro comparto estrategias para que tú lo puedas lograr. Para mí lo más importante es que tú tomes el timón de tu vida y decidas hacerlo. Que tú elijas lo que te funciona y no te funciona, porque Sandra ha llegado a la conclusión de que lo que a mí me pudiera funcionar, tal vez a ti no te funcione, ¿cierto? Así es que es tomar el timón de tu vida, amarte, respetarte, valorarte, ¿sí? Lanzarte a todos tus sueños, aunque tengas miedo, hacerte aliado del miedo y decir, yo sí puedo hacerlo y estar todos los días con esa posibilidad de hacerlo, con esa energía hasta el cielo, caray.
Thank you, Sandra. Let me translate. In this case, she mentioned that she has some strategies inside the book. She considers some of them, but she considers that the most important is to take the control of our lives. In this case, to start trying what we want, looking for the things that we always wanted. And in this case, she emphasizes that not all these strategies are going to have an effective result with all people. Many different strategies could work with some people and not with other people. So in this case, we have to try many different strategies for turning our squirrels.
Fantastic. And I want to ask you both what it means global design for you, for both, and where can I find your books if I want to buy it, and or tell me to your social media, please.
Gracias, Libertad. Bueno, Comunicación Global Design para mí fue pues obviamente un parteaguas para que yo hiciera realidad pues el libro. Obviamente fue un proceso anterior, tuve un mentor que es Carlos Carrera, pero Comunicación Global Design, o sea, de verdad fue un apoyo total para la edición del libro, elegir la carátula, que por cierto, la carátula de Gira tu ardilla es esa conexión que debes de tener con tu corazón y tu cerebro todo el tiempo para que esa ardillita pues esté siempre con los valores que comentábamos hace ratito. Y pues bueno, eso es para mí. El libro de Gira tu ardilla está próximo ya a sacarse ya físico, pero por el momento lo pueden encontrar en Amazon. Mis redes son Sandra HBZ Miranda, me pueden encontrar en Instagram, en Facebook, pero bueno, yo los invito a que giren su ardilla y pues bueno, compren el libro. Muchas gracias.
Okay, muchas gracias, Sandra. Thank you. I'm going to translate. In this case, she mentioned that it is important to remember the role that Global Design had, because they helped a lot to Sandra in the production of her book. In this case, also in the cover. That's why we can understand more the connection that exists between our minds and our hearts, and of course the values that we're going to find inside the book. And finally, she told us that we can buy the book in Amazon. Nowadays, it's just available online, but in the future, we are going to have the chance to buy it physically. And of course, we can follow her in her social networks, in this case, Facebook and Instagram as Sandra H. DZ Miranda. Thank you, Sandra. Now is the time for Elizabeth.
Yeah, now is your time, Elizabeth.
Sí, gracias. Global Design, bueno, ha sido quien ha materializado mi sueño, el acompañamiento, las recomendaciones, el diseño de portada, lanzamiento. Pues ha sido un acompañamiento total y absoluto, maravillada de tantas sorpresas, de tantos momentos increíbles que podemos y pueden cada quien compartirlo y vivirlo. Por ahora también solo está por Amazon, es formato digital y próximamente estará en algunas librerías. Gracias. Vale la pena es empezar a aprender algo diferente que existe, que está entre nosotros y que podemos en cualquier momento vivirlo.
Also, bueno, también tus redes sociales, por favor.
Sí, gracias. Estoy en Facebook, Liz Saavedra, en Instagram también. Mi correo también es Elizabeth Saavedra o saavedra@gmail. Mi teléfono, con mucho gusto lo comparto. Quien me guste hablar, 3x3, 137-0321. Dispuesta y con mucho entusiasmo de compartir y ayudarles.
Thank you, Liz. In this case, she mentioned that as the case of Sandra, nowadays the book is available online, but she mentioned that also in the future we are going to have the chance to buy it physically. Nowadays we can find it in Amazon, and of course we can find her also in her social network as Liz Saavedra. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you so much. And now I'm going to start with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, tell me, when did you write this book? During the pandemic or it was before?
No, este libro me llevó un proceso de 2 años escribirlo. Por supuesto, se toca y se vuelven a vivir muchas emociones. Sin embargo, ya en otra perspectiva, con otro aprendizaje, con otro sentimiento. Entonces, lo escribí en el 2019, inicié escribiéndolo y bueno, concluí para lanzamiento el 14 de mayo del 2021. Sin embargo, está puesto mi corazón y toda mi experiencia para todos ustedes.
In this case, Sandra, Elizabeth mentions that the work has been kind of hard in the production of the book. She has been working on it for a considerable time, but of course, what she emphasizes is that she gave her best in this production.
Oh, thank you so much. And the last question before we start with Sandra. Your book is a testimony or is about stories or how is it a novel? How do you consider your book?
Okay, en este caso, Sandra, cuéntanos en qué formato lo has trabajado el libro, cómo más o menos tú lo consideras.
Elizabeth,
¿para mí?
it's Elizabeth. No, it's for Elizabeth.
Yes. Ah,
Yes.
okay, for Elizabeth.
Gracias. Bueno, lo podríamos compartir como una experiencia personal. Es ahora sí que desde lo vivido exactamente tal cual, cómo lo fui descubriendo, cómo lo fui aprendiendo, cómo todo lo que pasó en el Inter, ¿no? De todo el padecimiento, de toda la enfermedad, cómo fuimos resolviendo, incluso desde el diagnóstico, porque no sabíamos qué era lo que tenía, ¿no? Y poco a poco ir familiarizándonos en este tema, en este proceso de aceptación, de de acompañarlo, de vivirlo y de poderlo ahora compartir.
Okay, thank you, Elise. In this case, she mentions that the structure of the book that we are going to find is like a story, her personal story with this case of depression and bipolarity. She manages it in some ages. The first one is the diagnostic, then they pass to the acceptation and also the understanding of these situations, and of course finally is the sharing, because now they are able to share how they have managed these situations until having a happy ending.
Thank you so much. Sandra, when did you write the book? It was before or after, during the pandemic or before the pandemic? And another question is, how do you think your squirrel is working at the top now, or you think you need to work harder in your own squirrel?
Gracias, Libertad. Bueno, yo escribí el libro en plena pandemia. Llevo 5 años en esta cuestión del desarrollo humano y bueno, la pandemia no fue impedimento para mí para seguirme entrenando y pues ahí surgió pues la idea de escribirlo, repito, entrenándome con mi mentor y pues fue en esa época que lo hice. Y bueno,
Let me ask you the second question. I think the question, it could be better. Is the squirrel was shaking for the pandemic, your squirrel, or how she react or he react in your soul, in your spirit during the pandemic?
ambas cosas, mi ardilla siempre está girando tremendamente, o sea, todo el tiempo está girando. La pandemia sí fue un impacto para mí muy fuerte, pero dije, Sandra, o te quedas padeciendo o te empiezas a preparar más para poder ser un aporte para las personas. Entonces siempre he tenido mucha energía, ¿sí? Les comento que yo soy abogada y además soy coach ontológico. Ahorita ejerzo nada más como abogada, pero la cuestión del ser humano me apasiona. Mi ardillita siempre está al tope. Sí he tenido momentos, obviamente, en que digo, hey, ardilla, ¿dónde estás, no? O sea, como todo en la vida, pero siempre me hago aliada de mi ardilla y digo, a ver, vamos para adelante. Y desde donde me encuentre, yo la levanto y digo, estamos creando todo el tiempo, girando todas las conversaciones, cambiando creencias limitantes por creencias potenciadoras y eso me hace sentir plena, ¿saben? Y sobre todo poderlo compartir con las personas, pues es lo que realmente alimenta mi alma.
Okay, in this case, summary, Sandra mentioned that during the pandemic time, she had a kind of impact, also her squirrel. But what she decided to do is to focus on the positive side of this time. So she decided to go ahead, work with the things that she likes. In this case, also she mentions that she's a lawyer, but she likes the human development, the human integral development. So that's why she also writes about it. And in this case, well, as a learning aspect that we have to take from her is that she always is working with her squirrel together. That the squirrel is always turning, and of course, it's part of the production that she makes.
Thank you so much. Time passed really quickly, but I think for just 30 minutes, we talk a lot about your books because sometimes I don't know why, but I feel that it's less information. Today I felt a lot of information. I am so happy for that. Both you have the opportunity to talk from your heart, and I'm pretty sure many people is going to buy your books. They are in Amazon, both, right?
Right.
And it's really easy. Just find the app, buy the book, and you can know a little more about the squirrel, and we can know more a little about depression about, and bipolarity, that are really topics really important right now that we are suffering a lot. And the pandemic is pushing in this problem too. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to writers Sandra Miranda, and you can find her like Sandra Miranda and Elizabeth Saavedra. Thank you so much for your great books. I'm going to repeat the names. The names is Turn Your Squirrel, Gira tu Ardilla, and how to manage the depression and bipolarity, afrontando la depresión y la bipolaridad. Thank you so much, Manuel Ramos, for this great interpretation. Thank you so much, Luis Palacios, for help us. And again, our writers, and thank you, Global Design, to support all writers, especially digitally, in this pandemic problem that we don't need. We need the books in person, but this is not an obstacle. We have the technology, and we can use the technology in benefits of the society and the human beings. Thank you so much.
Thank
Gracias.
you so much.
Thank you.
To everything.
Bendiciones para todos.
Muchas gracias,
for
igual
you.
bendiciones.
Okay, thank you, Manuel, for this interpretation. Thank you, Libertad, for this brilliant interview, and thank you, Sandra and Elizabeth, for sharing your book with all of us. This is the first Virtual Book Fair USA. Thanks for watching, and see you later.